And a good Saturday morning to everybody out there. Kyle LaBoria in. Time now for your KGFW Rewind Playoff Edition. It has been a long, grueling season for all teams across Nebraska, but the playoffs are here, and we got you covered right here on KGFW with the Rewind. Your Kearney High Bearcats enter the playoffs as the number 1 seed. Woo woo, you heard that right. Number 1 seed for the Kearney High Bearcats in their perfect 9-0 season. The first time that they have gone 9-0 since 2007. A quick little note, that was the first season right after the school won their first ever state championship. So good news in the air for Bearcat fans with that on the way. They would draw number 16 seeded Norfolk Panthers. Norfolk backing into the playoffs. They needed a lot of help to get into the playoffs, actually. Norfolk lost their final game of the season and got into the playoffs thanks to a tiebreaker that they had over Lincoln Southeast, and that bought them a ticket to Kearney to face a Bearcats team that is hungry after a disappointing playoffs last season. Let's jump right into the game. Things couldn't have started better for the Kearney High Bearcats. They lost the coin toss. The Panthers decided to defer. That means the Kearney High Bearcats would get the ball first, and as they've done all season, they moved the ball well all the way down into the Norfolk red zone. That's when, you guessed it, Miko Maisner shows his stuff right here.
Huber and Obermiller split to the right to the near side. Stahlberg. Miller running option to the right side will pitch it. And making his way into the end zone is Miko Maisner, an 11-yard touchdown run for the sophomore for Miko this year. That is his 8th touchdown rushing this season. And the Bearcats jump out onto the board quickly. 8:57 to go. First quarter, Bearcats leading 7-0.
The Bearcats do a good job striking first. A beautiful 7-play drive. Looks like it was scripted, and you couldn't ask for a better start for the Bearcats. Well, actually, you could. They kick off to the Panthers, give the Panthers the ball on their own 22-yard line. Now, the Panthers like to throw the ball. They've got a junior, Brandon Hart, behind quarterback, and he loves to put the ball in the air. The Kearney High Bearcats knew that was coming. Here's their great defense.
Again in the shotgun, Brandon Hart. Bruzik on his left. Hart wants to throw. Looks across the middle, overthrows that one, and is that one going to be picked off? They will say it is an interception. Intercepted by Will Richter. Will Richter. They say it's Bo Sawstad. Oh, it is Bo Sawstad with the INT. And so the Bearcats will pick off the quarterback for Norfolk and take over.
I would like to note, coming into the game, the Bearcats were plus 11 on giveaway takeaway. They caused 11 more turnovers than they gave up throughout the season, and they got one right there. Jumping into the passing lanes is Sawstead with the interception. Well, the Bearcats would not make anything of that interception. They'd go 3 and out. They'd be forced to punt it away. Giving the Panthers the ball, they trap them on their own 16-yard line. Panthers would pick up a first down, and that would be it for that drive. The Panthers would be forced to punt it away as well. Kearney would take the ball on their own 48. That would give the Bearcats great field position. Well, it is a playoff game, which means adrenaline is running. You've got all the momentum in your favor, and sometimes mistakes happen when those are a factor.
Football spotted on the near hash. 2 receivers at the near side. 1 split to the far side. That's Stahlberg. Here's a handoff to Will Jorgensen, the fullback. He'll just take it right up the middle. And did he fumble the football? Norfolk is indicating that he did. We're not seeing any gesture at all from our officials. They will say it's Norfolk football, so the Bearcats cough it up. A uncharacteristic fumble by the Bearcats. And Norfolk will get the football and maybe a little bit of momentum there.
Will Jorgensen with the fumble on just the second play of that drive would give the ball back to the Panthers in their own territory on their own 37. Well, the good news for Kearney High Bearcat fans is when a mistake is made, the Bearcats don't let it affect them. They've done a great job all season long of clamping down and not paying for their mistakes. This time, the defense steps up big time, not only erasing the mistake, but putting points on the board.
1 receiver left, 2 to the right. Bruzik on the left side. Now Bruzik goes in motion again to the left. Hart again looks, and that one is picked off. This is going to be a touchdown for the Bearcats. 10-5 touchdown, Josh Ray. Josh Ray with the 37-yard INT, and the Bearcat defense rears its head and says, we're turning you away. Boy, you can see that Josh Ray was expecting that. That was not the first time that Norfolk has gone with that quick throw to the tight end. Josh Ray read it from the get-go and runs it in for the INT touchdown.
That pick six for Josh Ray, his first of the season. Give him 40 yards on that pick six from where he grabbed the ball to finally hit in the end zone. Kearney High just looked all night like they were ready to play this game. They were firing on all cylinders. They'd kick off to the Panthers after the pick six, trap the Panthers back in their own territory with a silly call on the Panthers. They'd have a holding call that would trap them all the way back inside their own 20. And then a sack would put them back even further. Well, when it's second and about a country mile, that's definitely a passing down situation. And didn't they learn just a few plays ago, you don't pass on this defense?
Two receivers right, one to the left. Faking the handoff, throwing the little bubble screen. It's picked off, and into the end zone is Thad Huber, touchdown. Thad Huber with the pick. And now the Bearcat defense leads Norfolk 14-0. Put another 6 on. I guess we'll give the offense credit for a touchdown too. It's now 20-0 with 1:54 to go in the first quarter.
Thad Huber with the pick six on that play. So let me just recap for you. 5 plays happen. The Panthers throw 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately for the Panthers, both of those touchdowns go in Kearney High's favor. 2 pick sixes in the span of 5 plays. This defense is really stepping up to show that it is the cream of the crop in Class A football this year. This is a defense, ladies and gentlemen, that only gave up 72 points all season. Yeah, let that sink in for just a moment. Things would really slow down after that. They'd punt off. The Panthers would have the 3rd possession in a row. That's odd to say in a game. They would go a 3-and-out. They would be forced to punt. Kearney would take the ball in their own 40-yard line with about 50 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and they would go 3-and-out. They would be forced to punt. The offense almost looked like they didn't know what to do. The defense was taking care of business until that point. Start of the second quarter, Panthers would have the ball, a 3-and-out, a good sack there. They'd lose 6 yards. Greg Kowalski coming in for the sack on that one. They would be forced to punt. That would lead the Bearcats would have absolutely phenomenal field position in their first possession of the second quarter on the Panther 40-yard line. Well, the offense decided that they wanted to get in on the fun too. Here's Matt Studi.
1st and 10 at the Norfolk 18-yard line. Bearcats moving from our left to right towards the south end zone. Stahlberg and Huber and Ray split to the left side to the near side over Miller. Miller in the shotgun will pitch this one to Studi around the left side. And he's going to break a couple of tackles, and he'll be into the end zone. Touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown run for Matt Studi. That is his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. And the Bearcats now lead 27-0 with 7:28 to go in the second quarter.
Matt Studi picking up his first touchdown of the playoffs, 28-0 in the second quarter. And Dave and I asked ourselves during the break, we said, are we going to see a running clock in the playoffs? That's something neither one of us were prepared for. Kearney would kick the ball away. Panthers would punt the ball in their next possession. The Kearney defense was really locked in all night long. That would give the Bearcats the ball with 5:34 left to go in the first half. They'd get the ball on their own 49-yard line. They'd have great field positioning all year long. Well, we've talked about the defense has scored. They've gotten a couple pick sixes, so chalk that up to the defense. The offense has scored in a couple ways. Now it's time for special teams to get on the board. Enter Gabe Hines.
Hines, 3 for 3 in field goal attempts. This will be a 37-yarder. The hold is down. His kick is up. His kick is good. Bearcats lead 31-0 with 2:23 to go in the second quarter. You're listening to Kearney High Football on your home for the Bearcats, KGFW.
At this point, with 2 minutes left to go in the second quarter, it looked like Kearney was able to do whatever they wanted with the football whenever they wanted. Norfolk, needing to get into the locker room for the halftime break to make some adjustments, would have the ball back with just about 2.5 minutes left to go. They would take a sack on the first play, and 2 incomplete passes would force them to punt. That would give the Bearcats the ball with 1:27. The Bearcats are up 31-0. The prospect of having that running clock throughout the second half and cutting the night short was just too much for the Bearcats to miss an opportunity.
Braden Miller, the quarterback for the Bearcats, will be in the shotgun. He has Stute lined up on his left. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Miller wants to throw, looking out to Stallbird, makes the catch, makes a man miss. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Bearcats. Isaiah Stallbird made the first man miss, and after that it was a foot race that only he was going to win. A 37-yard touchdown strike. Braden Miller to Isaiah Stallbird. And the Bearcats will enjoy a running clock in the second half. I don't know how many times, I've lost track how many times they've had a running clock this year. By the way, for Isaiah, his 6th receiving touchdown of the year.
Isaiah Stallbird getting on the board for the first time in these playoffs with a 37-yard strike. Well, they've passed a touchdown. They've run for a couple touchdowns, a couple pick sixes. The Bearcats were really in control of this game. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got your second half highlights. Plus, we'll take a look at the next opponent for the Bearcats. I'll tell you who it is. We'll take a look at some of their stats and see how they line up. You're listening to the KGFW Rewind right here on KGFW, home for the Bearcats.